Mackenzie and Ryan's
agriculture story.
There once was a lady named Helga. She was a Dutch lady. She came from a family whose main income was from the primary economic activities. Growing up, Helga always helped her mother skin the deer that her father brought home to make into booties using the fur.
Helga married a man later on in life whose job was part of the secondary economic activities. He worked in a factory, turning lumber into beautiful, custom-carved bear statues. When Helga's husband was struck with a severe case of cholera, he passed away. He was buried amongst the great leaders of his culture's past, the Bears of the Netherlands.
Helga was a player, though, so she moved on quickly, becoming a newlywed once more. This was an improvement from her last husband. Her new husband participated in tertiary economic activities. He had a job as a teacher for the tiny humans of their quaint little village. 6 months after Helga and her new husband had gotten married, he died in a tragic wagon accident.
Helga channeled her inner Beyonce and decided that she don't need no man. You see, Helga was a very smart cookie. She actually had several degrees as a medical research professional, which made her part of the quaternary economic activities. Helga became very successful, only to die peacefully in her sleep at age 82 due to an accidental drug overdose. Now I invite you to turn the page to the next story. Thank you.
Canadian hunters and gatherers. Deep in the heart of the Canadian forest, there lived a small tribe. This tribe survived by hunting and gathering their foods and resources. This specific group lived by the art of transhumance. The tribe's leader, Ricardo, was the one to decide when it was time to pick up and follow the herds, as they migrated from one area to another. After the whole herd had settled into a new resting stop, the tribe would then stop moving and make camp in their new living area.
Hello, it's me again. I bet you missed me. Here I am again to tell you to turn the page past Ryan's boring story and on to mine. Thank you. I like to call this story Ryan and the Neolithic Revolution. Here I go. Once, there was a human named Ryan. Ryan was a very curious human. He had a specific interest in the Neolithic Revolution. One day, Ryan stumbled across a magic lamp. He wished for a puppy, more stupid cardigans, and to go back in time to the Neolithic Revolution. The lamp granted his wishes. Ryan was so happy to be there that he started running. Ryan wasn't a good runner, though, so he ran into a tree. A group of Native American women found him and brought him back to their camp. He was well cared for and eventually became part of the tribe. Since he was a man, and it was a patriarchal society, he was given a position in government. As Ryan was being sworn into government, he noticed the vegetative planting Carl Sauer had mentioned in one of his many books that Ryan had read. One day, he visited the hearth where the village's farming had diffused from and was impressed by all the advancements the tribe had made. As Ryan was traveling home from the village, he was trampled by a herd of buffalo and died. But Ryan, having not been a native of that time period, disrupted the space-time continuum with his death. and the world exploded. Thanks, Ryan. Anyway, time for another one of Ryan's boring stories. Actually, just kidding, I lied. Mine is next. I love when that happens. Okay, I'll talk to you in like 10 seconds. Hey guys, I'm back again. It's been all of 10 seconds here. My next story is called It Sucks to Be Craig. It's probably one of my favorites. Here I go. Once there was a man named Craig. Craig was kind of a jerk. So one day he decided to take over and fence off the land shared by himself and some other peasant farmers. His other peasant farmers were very angry at Craig, the fact that he had done this. So they made a plan. On the next full moon, they would throw him into Jethro Tull's seed drill, a contraption that usually was used to spread seeds more easily, but would also cause pain to a human being if a human being happened to be thrown in it and it was turned on. That would really suck for Craig. The other peasants' plan worked. Craig was viciously murdered. It was in the middle of a crop rotation, though, so they promised that they would use Craig's remains as fertilizer the next time they rotated the crops. And everyone lived happily ever after, except for Craig. Craig is dead. Here we go. This is our last story, story 5. This one was written by Ryan and has absolutely nothing to do with me, so your eardrums can take a rest. It is a story, so here's Ryan. Okay, bye.
Now we have innovations that helped humanity. In a faraway land, there lived an old rice farmer. His crops were beginning to fail, and he was beginning to panic. After thinking long and hard, the little old dwarf came up with the perfect solution. The man began to terrace his land. He turned his once sloping piece of land into multiple level pieces so that his crops were able to flourish. After his crops began to become more stable, the little old man discovered the use of irrigation to water his fields. He no longer had to water each crop by hand. The little old man was approached one day by a young man who claimed to be his son. After the man realized that the boy was really his, he taught him his ways. When the old man was reaching the end of his days, he urged his son to see what the world had to offer. His son later on led the Columbian Exchange. He, along with many other explorers, moved toward the Western Hemisphere to see what other areas of the world had to offer. They found that the American lands had supplies and resources that could be traded in exchange for the things that the Europeans grew and produced. The son had fulfilled his father's wishes, and he was able to live the rest of his life knowing that he had done his father proud.
Hello! I'm back here to close you out for the day. This is the end of our tale, and we hope that you have learned as much about us as we have about you on this tale together through this book that we wrote. Took a while, and I'm very tired. Okay, let me just thank a few individuals before I close out this book. I'd like to thank myself, first and foremost, for narrating this book, putting up with Ryan, and doing most of the illustrations. Clap, clap for Kenzie. Yes, let's, now we'll clap, clap for Ryan for, I'll think of something we can clap for Ryan for at a later date. Clap, clap for Ryan. I'd like to finish this out by thanking the women who inspired us with the character of Helga. Kelly Reinelhuber, Tammy Sparkman, and Shelley Duquette, all very strong women and Kelly, who is just great. I'm running out of things to say, and my voice is getting tired. So I'm going to sign us out. Hail and farewell, my amigos.